It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hello, what's happening, everybody? Yes, it is showtime. It is showtime. As Magic Johnson used to say back in the day when he was playing for the Lakers and he was running that fast break, it's showtime. It's showtime. Pop, pop, it's showtime. The Geno Jones Show, Monday through Friday. I'm live right here, 5 days a week, right around 6:30 p.m., right, 6:30 Eastern Time. 5:30 in Chicago, or maybe you're in Memphis, Tennessee, or New Orleans, Louisiana, New Orleans, 5:04, 3:30 out on the West Coast, out in Los Angeles, maybe you're up there in Seattle, Portland, Oregon, or the Bay Area. All right, listen, let's get right into it today. My special commentary for today. Let's start off with Senator Mitch the Grim Reaper McConnell. Says corporations should stay out of politics. But give me that check. Yes, corporations, you should stay out of your lane and, don't get into culture wars and all that. So basically, he said, yes, corporations, I'm warning you, stay out of politics. But let your money stay in my political campaign. Oh. So all the corporations, all the CEOs out there, I have a suggestion for you. Not that you need my suggestion. You've done pretty good in your career without me, but I just wanted to offer up something to you. Since Mr. Grim Reaper, Mitch McConnell, said that and warned you that you should stay out of politics because you want to pull your business, your events, you want to speak out against states and politicians and governors, basically disenfranchising an entire group of people, multiple groups, black people, brown people, Hispanic, indigenous, Native Americans, yes, that want to creating like this new 2K Jim Crow era, James and James Crow era, racist legislation in terms of voter suppression, that to give someone a bottle of water or food on a hot summer day in Georgia, standing in line to vote is a crime? Is that what we're doing now? And that you want the state legislators that are controlled by the Republicans. You got a Republican governor, Trump wannabe, Mr. Brian Kemp. You want the state legislators to be able to take control over county elections. So let's just say, Fulton County, primarily Democratic, heavily African-American population. If all of a sudden the votes come in again in the presidential election in 2024, or maybe in a primary election, let's say in the midterm elections in 2022. Yes. Senator Raphael Warnock is going to be running for re-election in 2022. So if you don't like the way that vote turns out and Senator and Reverend Warnock gets a huge turnout and he wins, he gets the most votes, and in 2024, let's say President Biden wins Fulton County by a dramatic margin like he did in 2020, that the Republican state legislators can say, we can basically throw out. There's a term they use. It's called nullification. It's a legal term. Nullification means to nullify, to cancel out, to eliminate, like you all don't even exist, like you didn't even vote. Poof, poof, be gone. All those Negroes that voted, something happened. You cheated because too many of you voted, and damn it, that's just the fact that too many of you Negroes voted, that's cheating. And we as the state legislators should be able to come in. We can take control over your county elections, Fulton County, surrounding counties, Gwinnett County, Cobb County. Really? Is that what we're doing? So corporations are saying, no, we believe that every American, irregardless of who you voted for, irregardless of what party your affiliation is, irregardless of what you look like, irregardless of your gender or sexual orientation or your religion or lack thereof religion or whatever, you should have a free and fair a chance to vote. And if there's anything, if there are any laws, any politicians that are passing laws to suppress and nullify, eliminate votes from one entire community, we're not getting down with that. We don't get down with that. No, we don't want to do business with you, and we are going to pull our business out of your state. And now you got folks, got their drawers and panties in a bunch. Oh, this is a cancel culture. Oh, so you want to cancel the votes of black and brown people in Georgia. That cancel culture is okay. So we can cancel the votes of black folks and brown folks. But when corporations say, we're not going to cancel the All-Star game. We just want to, Major League Baseball says, you know what? We want to move this baseball game, the Major League All-Star game. We're going to move it to Denver, Colorado, because they have a much more open and fair set of laws where everybody can vote. Everybody can vote by mail. Any registered voter in Colorado automatically gets mailed a ballot. Did you know that? Every registered voter automatically gets mailed a ballot. They've been voting by mail in Colorado for years. No fraud. All this mysterious voter integrity. That's bullshit. Let me translate what voter integrity means. Voter integrity means that too many black folks and brown folks and Native American folks, indigenous people, and Asian American Pacific Islanders and young progressive-minded people of all races, including whites, have been voting. So, we can't have that. This is about power. This is about power and racism. We do not want black people to exercise their political power. We don't want brown people. We don't want Hispanics and Asian Americans, unless they're voting for us. We don't want them to exercise their political power. It's got to be cheating. So we need voter integrity, which means too many dark folks are voting. So somehow the integrity is lost when black people vote in large numbers. But when the MAGA crowd votes in large numbers, somehow there's integrity to that vote. I wonder why. So corporations and CEOs, this is what I'm going to suggest that you do. Contact Mr. Mitch McConnell. Say, okay, as a matter of fact, you know what we're going to do, Mr. McConnell? We're going to stay out of your politics. So let's start. We want you to run all that money back, as they say on the streets. Hey, I need you to run me that money. All the companies, all the CEOs, Miss Grim Reaper, Senator McConnell, or put him on a speakerphone. I need you to run back those hundreds of millions of dollars that these companies, we CEOs, we have donated to your campaign and your party. You've been in office for, 30 some odd years? That's a lot of money. I didn't even bother doing the math. I can tell you, it's probably in the at least tens of millions between Mitch McConnell as a senator, as a member of the House. I think he started off in the House of Representatives, and his party, the Republican Party. If you add all that money up, easily tens, if not hundreds of millions, especially including the money that they've donated to his party, hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of 3 decades. So since you say stay out of politics, we got you. I got you, partner. I'm going to need you to run that money back. Run it all back. Run it all. We'll stay out of your politics. Absolutely, positively. One more thing in my special commentary today. Congratulations to Hubert Davis. He was hired to be the first black head basketball coach at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Tar Heel fan, not a Tar Heel fan. Not a really big college basketball fan. Really not. I enjoy it. I like it. But listen, I always root for the black man in a position of leadership because there's not too many black men that get these opportunities for a whole lot of reasons, obvious reasons. I don't need to tell you why. The same reason why that the state of Georgia all of a sudden have created all these laws to suppress the votes of millions of black men and women. But I digress. So congratulations to Hubert Davis being hired the first African-American, as he says, called himself, or black head coach for the men's basketball team at the University of North Carolina. Now, I got to address the elephant in the room. All right, I would be less than a commentator if I didn't address the elephant in the room. In case you were wondering what the elephant in the room, there's been a lot of talk all over social media and in barbershops and hair salons and really all over, just all throughout the media about many people just said this comment seemed a little odd considering the context of the question. So let me break it down to you. So about 38 minutes into his press conference, there's been a lot of, the headline, first black man, first African-American hired as head men's basketball coach at the University of North Carolina, a school that has a racist past, a school that for many years before Dean Smith, rest in peace, power, and paradise, legendary coach of the University of North Carolina. Oh, who's Dean Smith? Dean Smith was Michael Jordan's coach when Michael Jordan played at the University of North Carolina. As a matter of fact, many people will tell you the only person that could hold Michael Jordan under 20 points a game was Dean Smith. But before Dean Smith, as a matter of fact, Dean Smith, he recruited and he signed the first African-American basketball player. Charlie Scott was the first black ball player to play college basketball at the University of North Carolina. Before that, listen, it's the South. Racism, Jim Crow existed. So North Carolina, so there's a history in terms of this university not embracing what we call diversity, just being outright racist in terms of not just hiring a black head coach, not even recruiting a black basketball player. So one of the reporters asked the question, said, Hubert Davis, Coach Davis, what are your thoughts about being the University of North Carolina's first black head coach? And he went on, but the quote that really got everybody's ears to just say, okay, that's kind of odd. He said, and I'm quoting here, I'm very proud to be an African American. I'm also very proud that my wife is white and that our children are biracial. And folks are like, huh? Who? What? Wait a minute, Coach, the question was, what are your thoughts about being hired, being the first black head basketball coach at the University of North Carolina? And he talked about Charlie Scott. Well, Charlie Scott, once again, like I said, is the first African-American basketball player at the University of North Carolina. And he said, well, Charlie Scott reached out to me. I'm going to reach out to him. And I know he cited the numbers. Very few African-American. As a matter of fact, I think the university has only had 4 head coaches that were black on any level, I think in its history. Something to that effect. You can, don't quote me. But he talked about the statistics, how rare it is, and how he made history. But then when he said, okay, yeah, I'm proud to be an African-American. I'm also very proud that my wife is white and my kids are biracial. It's like, but Coach, well, that's great that your wife is white, but what does that have to do with anything? Now, why did this raise a red flag? Because I had a conversation earlier. Something like, well, what's wrong? He was just acknowledging his wife and his kids, and yes, that's great. But first of all, there are a lot of layers to this. That over the course of history, I will speak to you. I'm going to speak to you very honestly, and I'm going to say the quiet part out loud, and I'm going to say the part that, folks talk about in the barbershops or in hair salons or over card games or whatever. And it's just a fact. So over the course of history, there's been a segment of black men, and yes, you could put some black women in the same segment also, that for a multitude of reasons felt that once they achieved a certain level of success, prominence, stature, CEO of a company or vice president or, top salesperson or a head coach or star athlete or whatever, or entertainer, they felt that for multiple reasons, I need to, not just that I want to, not just I just fell in love, but it might be a better look. I want to exercise my power now. I've really made it, and a symbol of me making it is marrying a white woman. Now, listen, the truth is, whether you like this conversation or not, the truth is, there's a certain pathology. There is a segment where people just they just fall in love and their spirits and personalities connect. There is a segment that feels that once they reach a certain level that somehow black women or women of color are beneath them, or that somehow that this fantasy, there's this fetishization of, yes, now I can get like this taboo relationship. I can get a white woman. And then these are conversations that I've had over the course of over decades with other black men. We've gotten to heated conversations, debates. It's like, okay, if you just fall in love because you fall in love, that's one thing. But to think that you marrying a white woman or having biracial kids makes you special or magic Negro, no. At the end of the day, because the truth is, remember, I've said this before, this whole concept of race is made up. It is a made up system. It's a made up construct. Scientifically, biologically, there's no such thing as race except for the human race. This whole concept of whiteness was made up to divide and conquer. All of us. It was created by a small group of people with power, influence, and money to divide and conquer other quote-unquote white people until they somehow they assimilated themselves into whiteness. You can just trace the history of America. When the Italians first when the Irish first came to America, when the Germans, when the Jewish community came to America, when the Polish community came to America, they weren't considered white. They were looked down like the N-words. This is a historical fact. And over the course of years, those groups assimilated into this whiteness because their skin was paler than most black folks. But black people could never, most black people, some black people could pass for white, but the majority of black people could never pass for white. This whiteness. So they could never get in this club. So this was some made up bullshit. And it's been used to oppress, to lynch, to murder, and it's been taught to us as black people to hate ourselves. Now, I'm not saying that's what Hubert Davis is doing, but there's this history, especially when it comes to professional athletes or prominent African-American men. It's just a fact, whether you want to admit it or not. That's the elephant in the room. So when Hubert Davis made this comment, folks are like, So were you trying to make, yes, a lot of folks began to psychoanalyze. Okay, were you trying to make a statement? Because still, this is North Carolina, still a lot of racism. You got some very powerful, wealthy, rich, they call them boosters, people who donate money to the university and the school and the basketball program that may not be comfortable. They didn't, just, let's be honest about it. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. I'm sure there was a significant number of boosters who did not want any black man to become the head coach at the University of North Carolina. That is just a fact. And you don't have to take my word for it. You could just do some homework. That fact, you will learn that fact for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. So were you trying to make this group of supporters or boosters that you were afraid were going to be uncomfortable, that their favorite university, their alma mater, hired a black man, and well, maybe they won't donate as much money to the program and the school as they had before? So, were you somehow trying to, make them feel comfortable and say, hey, listen, I'm not threatening. I'm proud of my wife is white and my kids are biracial. Was that it? Was it a form of, were you just making a statement that you felt that somehow that having a white wife put you in a special category? It made you somehow more special? Were you supposed to be a better human because you married somebody that was not? What was the significance of, in that moment, pointing out, saying that I'm very proud of my wife. I'm very proud that my wife is white, because it has nothing to do with the question. So the bottom line is this. Brother Hubert Davis, I don't know what your reason for saying that was. I don't. I could speculate. I'm not going to do that. I already got into a debate with Damaris about that. But what I am going to say to you, which is something that I'm sure that you already know, that your job as the head coach of the University of North Carolina's legendary, iconic basketball program, the program that has Michael Jordan and James Worthy and Sam Perkins and Vince Carter and Jerry Stackhouse, Phil Ford, as alumni of this prestigious program that was run by a coach that you played under, Dean Smith. You will be judged on wins and losses, and you're going to be judged on championships, because the University of North Carolina is about winning championships, not just having a winning record, not just going to the NCAA tournament, not just winning the ACC conference, that's the American Coastal Conference, basketball conference. You're going to be judged on winning championships and being married and being proud that your wife is white and that your kids are biracial ain't going to help you recruit. Now, it might, maybe it'll help you recruit some biracial kids. If that works for you, good luck. But at the end of the day, the truth is, none of that. That's not going to help you recruit, and that's not going to help you coach and win basketball games, brother. I am so proud that you got this position. I root for any black man in a leadership position, because just getting to that position is a major accomplishment. And you got folks, you have a lot of folks. You will have people who went to your school, who are an alumni at your school, who some will be quietly rooting against you, some will be openly rooting against you. And I'm sure you are aware of that. So I wish you the best of luck, my brother. I'm glad that you're proud of your family and your kids. I'm very proud of mine. I don't necessarily, make it a point to point out that I am very proud that my wife is black. She is beautiful, bad, the whole 9 yards. And I had 2 beautiful black daughters. But hey, I'm rooting for you, brother. I am. Like I said, I root for any black man in a leadership position. But just keep in mind, at the end of the day, you got to win basketball games. And your wife, your kids, Michael Jordan, Vince Carter, Jerry Stackhouse, Sam Perkins, Brad Doherty. Them brothers are not coming through that door again, okay? They may come through, but they can't suit up because their eligibility is gone. And if it wasn't, they couldn't help that much anyway. But I'm rooting for you. Thanks for letting me be a part of your life as always. God bless each and every one of you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. Daily, Monday through Friday, right here, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Central Time, 3:30 West Coast Time. Tomorrow will be the Thursday edition of the Geno Jones Show. Shout out to Mr. Bruce Gage. He is the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out on Instagram. That's Bruce Gage on IG, Instagram, Gage. Also, Markel Bailey. Kel is the official barber and stylist for the Geno Jones Show, keeping a brother looking righteous about the head. Check him out on IG, on Instagram, Kel B Cutting, KelBeCuttin. Thank you for watching. I love each and every one of you. I really do. Mother, I love you too. All right. Thanks to all my new subscribers. Please share this episode. Tag all your friends. Tag this episode on all your social media platforms. Tag it on Instagram. Tag it on Twitter. Tag it on Facebook. You know, go ahead and just like, share, subscribe. I got to go to get 100,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. And I know you will help a brother make that happen. Yes. Speak it into existence. Our words are powerful. You got to think it. What we think and what we say carries much power. Speak it into existence, as my grandmother would say. Jean Jones, who I was named after, she said, Jeannie, name it and claim it. I'm naming it and claiming it. I want to name it and claim it for you. Thanks for watching. Until tomorrow, Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, be blessed.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.